Hello everyone, it's Alex from Prosperity Finance. I'm sharing the best financial tips so that you can be more successful in achieving your financial goals. In our previous videos, Connie has talked about how you can use your existing property equities to help you with purchasing the next property. If you haven't watched it, you can find a link somewhere here. But to do so, we actually need to know how much is your property worth at the moment. So today I'm going to do a quick video and talk about the methods for us and also for the bank to understand the current value of your property. We'll start with a method that most of you should be familiar with. That's the capital value, or CV. Sometimes it's also called rateable value or government value. So these valuations are generally carried out by the local councils, and the main purpose of these valuations are for determining the council rates that you're going to pay next year. The valuation is reviewed every 3 years by law. However, because of the current COVID-19 pandemic, at least in the Auckland region, the review process has been pushed back till late 2021. And when it comes to lending, the CV method is generally not accepted by all banks. And even if it's accepted, it's usually restricted to very low borrowings. Then the second and third methods I'm going to talk about are from banks' panel valuation service providers. So New Zealand banks generally have their preferred panel valuation service providers, and there are two companies doing this in New Zealand. One is called CoreLogic, and another one is called Valocity. Each of them provides very comparable services, and I'll talk about two of the most frequently used ones. So the first one is called Automated Valuation Model, or AVM. This is known as eValue by CoreLogic and iVal by Valocity. As the name suggests, these valuations and the values are automatically generated from a computer algorithm with the help of recent sales data and other information to actually reflect on your property's current market value. And these values are frequently updated, usually once a week, and could be more frequent than that. The AVM generated values are usually the first choice for most banks, and it is in the majority cases you can use it for borrowings up to 80% of the LVR. Then the second product the panel valuation service providers provide is a registered valuation, or RV. It's also known as RVI if you talk to someone from ANZ. So RV is carried out by a registered valuer, and the valuer need actually go on site to complete a on-site valuation inspection. And then the valuer will prepare for a valuation report and send it to the bank that you're applying a loan with. So this method is considered to be more accurate. However, it is more time consuming and take longer time to complete. Usually it requires 4 to 5 working days. And also it's a additional cost on top of your purchase price. And the general charge, the fees for RV is around $900 to $1,000, but it can go up to 0.1% of the value of the property you're trying to do a valuation on. So each bank has its own policy on when a registered valuation is needed. And of course, if you're applying a loan with us, we will determine whether this is needed for your application or not. Okay, so lastly, I'll briefly talk about using purchase price as the valuation method for your next purchase. This is really only relevant if you're buying a new property. You can't really use it if you're trying to top up from a property that you bought 5 or 10 years ago. However, the purchase price is generally accepted by all banks with some exclusions and restrictions. Again, the policies on these are different from bank to bank. For example, most of the time, you can't really use the purchase price if it's a private sale. And also the LVR is going to be restricted if you're buying a property that's non-standard. It's not a standard residential. For example, if you're buying a very small apartment or a terrace house. Okay, so that's the four most commonly used methods to determine the value of your property, and I hope that's interesting and you found it useful. I'll see you next time. Bye.